Chief Analytics Officer, I'm responsible for all the analytics at PCH. And what I mean by that is there are three different groups. One is the algorithm group, which creates all the new algorithms and models and so on and so forth. The other is the insights group, which is primarily trying to work with business owners to give them insights that are actionable and meaningful. And the third group is the BI reporting, which is giving the key KPIs, the key critical KPIs for the businesses to manage their day-to-day business. I would say it is a hybrid role. You cannot just be purely strategic and live in a world where you're only talking strategic things, and you cannot be tactical. You cannot be in the forest all the time. So it is a hybrid role. You have to think both and be able to create a vision and look long term, align the vision with the business where it is going, and at the same time be able to solve the day-to-day problems that you have, the day-to-day issues either your team has or the businesses that they're going after. One is finding the right talent, right? In this day and age, analytics is on fire. We know that. There's a shortage of talent. We know that. So retaining the talent and then recruiting and getting that's a challenge. It's a constant worry that we have is who are we going to lose? That's one. The second is we have too much data. And at some point in time, you have to step back and see what data do I really need and what is it that I don't need. It's a hard decision because as analysts, we want more. Every day we say, okay, give me more, give me more. And we are almost at a stage where we're collecting about 3 to 4 terabytes of data every day. So how much of it is being used and how do I understand that? That's a challenge. And then the third piece of the challenge is, okay, I've got all the data, I've got all the good stuff that is available. It is changing minds. So in a way, you are constantly working, you're a salesman. You're constantly working with the business owners to help them understand the value that analytics is bringing to the table. And because it's new for them. They have done their business over the years in a specific way, and changing that is not easy. So that's the third challenge. That's a really good question. That's a really hard nut to crack, frankly, because you never know what you would need, right? As an analyst, you always, if you're collecting a data and you want to build a model, if you already have collected that data for a year or 2 years, you can quickly go and jump and start building the models on that. Versus if you wanted to build a model and you don't have and you're not collecting or storing that data, guess what? You have to wait for a year and a half before you can actually put it into action. But typically what we do in the prioritization is we look at our business goals. We look at where the company is going. We're constantly working with our business partners and saying we have a short-term and a long-term plan, which is long-term in this day and age is about 2 years. You cannot go beyond that. So in the next 2 years, what is it on the horizon? What is it that we are looking at? Even though it is 2 years down and I don't need the data today, we are talking about that like when we create the roadmap. And based on that, we are typically saying, okay, I need this data. I'm probably going to get this data, so I need that. I need a storage for that, keep a backup, and so on and so forth. So that's the way we prioritize is what's the business need in the next 2 years, and then prioritize that collection or storage of that data. way we are, in my personal opinion, analytics cannot be outside of a business. It has to be integrated with the business. So when you say, how do you talk analytics to different businesses, or my organization that I can tell you is living and breathing the same issues that a business is going through on a day-to-day basis. So when we go to them, it's not that, hey, let me tell you how I can solve the problem, coming from outside and giving them all the solutions. But in reality, sitting with them on a day-to-day basis and saying, okay, I can solve for this. I have a solution for this. I can build a model and it'll help you do this, this, and this. So the way we are set up is fundamentally that hybrid approach of being integrated in the business along with it's a centralized analytics department, but integrated in the businesses. So we are not an outsider. We are with you solving your problems as a team. So that's the approach we take in talking analytics with our business owners. When you say the word data scientist, right? So data scientists are, I think that word is overused in the industry. And if you start, I might get a little more technical here or a little more into details. Basically, if you ask a person who creates the models, be part of the business owners, right? Two different skill sets. I am a modeler. I enjoy building new and different models, and I get a kick in, building the best model that's out there. You ask me to go have a conversation every day with the business owners, that's not going to happen. You're probably going to lose that person sooner or later. So the way we have set up is assign the right people to the right job. And let me explain that. So my team is, the insights team is the bridge between the business owners and the data scientists. The insights team is living and breathing every day what's going on with that business, giving them actionable insights. And when they're doing those insights, they come across issues and say, we can solve this problem if we had something like this. And those are the people who are bringing those problems back to the data scientist. And the insights person, if you ask them to build a model, they're going to choke, right? That's a different skill set. So the right person is assigned to the right job, and that's how you keep the interest. And there's a pipeline of projects for the data scientists to create one of the best, or the models that they can, which keeps them interested in the job that they're doing. I think it depends. If you're asking more generic in the marketplace versus where we are, I can kind of separate those two out there. Depending on the journey that you are in your analytics journey, that question will be answered in different ways. So people who are still have not gotten into putting all the data in one place, or what they call as the data lake. So whether it is through Hadoop or any other way that you want to put the data in one place, that's step one. So there are companies who are still, I know, are beginning that journey of saying, let me put all the data in one place so that I can use it effectively. There are companies, for us at PCH, we are at a slightly, I would say, a mature stage than that. What we are struggling, or what we would want the technology to come in and help, is two areas. One is data cleansing. Someone has to come up with a better way to do the data cleansing part of it. There are technologies, but I don't think so. There is enough out there that can be leveraged with minimal human intervention. So that's one area. If we can find or there is development in that area, that'll be awesome. And then the second part of it is the real-time analytics. We are doing more and more in terms of, catching the person at the right moment, especially in the digital world. So if we can do more on that front, there are different technologies that are emerging, but I would say there's still ways to go in that area of how we bring that together. What business can do is be slightly more open-minded in trying the new or the change that is being proposed. And I wouldn't say that, the business should be completely, open, because if I know that certain thing works and I've made it work in the last 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, and it is proven that, and I'm still making money. So if I come back and as an analytics person, and I come back and say, I can do better than you, that's, the way you frame it and the way you put it out there for them is not going to be helpful. So when I say a little more open-minded will help them in making and achieving their targets. Because ultimately the business owners are responsible to get the revenue, to the commitments that they've made. And if they look at analytics as how can I use analytics to drive more revenue, I think that is the key change in the next 2 to 3 years of what we would see, the analytics team and the business owners coming together. Well, the data-driven marketing is how it is changing our organization, I would say significantly. We are, as I mentioned, the 2 areas out of the 3 that I mentioned that we are set up, the insights team and the algorithm team, they are both those teams have a number, a target that they are working towards. We are not a sales organization, but let me give you an example. So my insights team, we ourselves, in our SMART goals that we put for the company, we say, when we are working with the businesses, we are going to give you an X million dollars of insights, actionable insights, that we can quantify at the end of the year that, this is what we contributed to the business. Similarly, on the algorithm sides, I don't want to build any algorithm, any models that is not going to benefit the organization. So unless there is an ROI on that this model produced on an average, $50,000 a month or something to that effect, not building those models. So that's the value. That's how we're driving that piece. As a senior level data executive, I think it's no different than in any other leadership position you are in. You have to have the technical knowledge, and that's the step one. As a leader, you have to be able to motivate a team and put it together. As a leader, you have to be able to communicate with your peers and drive, sync up the business objectives with your department objectives. So I would say, as typical leadership qualities that you would want in either a CFO or in a CEO is very similar kind of leadership qualities you would be looking for in this role. So the one thing that I would advise to an aspiring CAO is have patience. You cannot change the world in a day. It takes time. You have to work with different organizations within internally and externally, but have that patience and perseverance.